Hello everyone.
Hello, everyone. We're back.
We're back. Welcome to Carol's Journey. Look who I have here, my honey love. So today we're going to be talking about I like you, I love you, right?
Right, I guess,
Okay, we'll start with you, dear. So, when did you start when did our relationship change from like to love?
um, as I reflect back, um, our story is a
Yeah.
story of when I met my wife for the first time. I was I was mad at relationships that I had been in, especially the one that I had just uh, gotten in, and so I at first it was when I saw her, like, I like her, but I was being um I had other plans. How about that? I had other plans for her, but
What was the plans you
well,
had for me?
the plans was I was mad at women, so I was going to have 5 women. I had planned to have 5 women, and she was gonna be the first one. And so, but I still liked her because I liked the little shorts and the knees and the little white fisherman shoes that she wore, and she wasn't really complicated. For some reason, I don't like complicated women. I like simple women that are not women that's trying. I mean, I only had an $8 an hour job when I met my wife. So keep that in mind. So if she was a gold digger, she would have got rocks. And so I liked it. Her smile. It was really. I was trying to cover it up. Her eyes. Because she looked at me like, wow, look at this tall guy.
Mm-hmm.
And but I tried to cover it up with this thought of I'm gonna get 5 women because I was mad at relationships, and I just got clean, and I was living in a
Mm-hmm.
men's transitional living house. That's where I met her at. Now this
Right.
So God was working it out because um, if I had not gotten clean or had not moved into the transitional living house, I may not have run across my wife.
Right.
And so after that, it took. I started softening up, I guess, and I had to kind of chase her a little bit, and she did give me, and she only had her mama's phone number,
I
so
didn't
I
have a
had to,
phone.
so I had to call her mama house to catch up with her,
Yeah.
and so which I ain't afraid of people's mama because I truly believe that when you are dating or want to date, that the parents should know who you are, and I call them. And I don't know what's happening in the world today, but it's a little different. But that's okay. I
Mm-hmm.
still believe that that's the right way to do things. And so um, so after that's the like piece, and we continued to we finally hooked up and went. It just um, I think that so I can speed it up so give my wife time. I think that it transitioned from into love um, when we moved in together.
Mm-hmm.
When I moved in with her, um, and sometimes you love somebody so much that you have to leave them, right? So, but I think God was working that out. He wanted me out of her, out of her bed, and so He worked that out. And had her write me a letter, a nice, loving, and caring letter about I want my house back. And I was like, wow, she put me out like this. And there wasn't no reason for her to put me out besides she was she was a little bit past the like piece too. She was falling in love, and
Mm-hmm.
she'll tell you about that story too. But I left, and then I ended up coming back, and then somewhere in that year of time we got married, and
Yeah.
as like just continued to become love. And before I stop, I'm gonna tell you that I believe that the I don't like pain, but when you're birthing something, it takes pain,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been through almost just about everything except for some infidelity.
Right.
We've been through a lot of the health issues. I fell off a ladder. My wife was there for me. She had her issues. I was there for her. We still we kick and scratch through some things. But because we love each other, it ain't just because I can go like anybody,
Mm-hmm.
but because I'm in love with her, I have to stick with her, right? And especially after marriage, because I want to honor God. And so I've had moments, just moments where, Lord, you sure this is what you want me to do? And then things get better. We always seem to sit down and talk about it. We were always talkers.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We talked all the time.
we talked all the time. We shared stuff nobody knew,
Right.
and when you do that, that shows that you can trust them with your deepest thoughts and things that are in your heart. So I end up so I love my wife with all my heart. She's second to Jesus Christ.
Mm. I'm up there.
Second to Jesus Christ. I don't love nobody like like Jesus but my wife.
Mm.
I always believe that if a relationship, the only relationship I'm gonna have till I die is besides the eternal relationship with Christ, but here on earth it's gonna be with my wife,
Mm.
and I always stick to that. So that's the transition of liking her, which they call it eros love,
Mm.
right? That's the physical attraction.
Right.
I physically was attracted to her when I saw her, right? Wasn't thinking, remember, I'm trying to get 5 women that I'm physically attracted to. So I didn't know that at that time that she was going to be my wife. But just keep in mind, I was raised, with a dad and a mom. So all that kind of helps you, for those who may not understand what marriage is about. It's really God's blessings on a relationship.
Yes, it is.
And then when you've got God in your life, along with the relationship, and I mean it, I'm saying that. Now, I ain't just doing this video. We're trying to share how we made it.
Right.
How did we become one? How are we
How we
becoming one?
becoming
We're
one.
still becoming one. And so
I forgot to
let me
do
let
that.
my wife share how she like what she liked about this old guy right here.
Right.
I'll take the whole little 15 minutes up.
You're all right. I when I met him through someone else, and we were actually supposed to be, and remember, and well, not remember, but know that he was clean from doing drugs and alcohol. I wasn't, and I was still smoking marijuana and drinking like a fish. So the friend that we have a mutual friend that introduced us, but she tricked me. I thought we were going to a party. I'm ready to go get cool and dance and stuff like that. But there was no party. And even if there was, the party would have been no drugs and no alcohol, because she was clean. And so she wanted to go meet her, but she just actually needed a ride to go see her boyfriend who was also living in the transitional house with Rick. And so she's like, I got somebody I want you to meet. Him and her both. They were like, we got somebody we want you to meet. And so he walked out and he had on whites then too. He had on some white shorts, a white t-shirt, and he had on some sandals with socks. And on some sandals with socks. Now, mind you, I'm 5'4". He's like six
Six
three,
four.
6'4". And when he was walking to me, I could smell his fresh Tommy Hilfiger cologne. That was real popular back then. And had a hat on, and he was shining. His skin looked all nice and pretty. He was just the most handsomest man I had ever seen, and I liked it. I liked what I saw. I was physically attracted to him. And so we exchanged numbers and stuff. Well, I exchanged my mom's number and he gave me his number. Now, mind you, I had intention on not even being with just one guy. I was going to have him because I was already dating two other guys, and he was just going to be in the mix with the other two guys that I was dating. But it was something about him when we did finally catch up with each other to go out on the date. Man, oh man, oh man. Our date was like, I hope that's not being on our video. I forgot to take it off. But I hope our when we went out on our first date, we went to Skyline. I love Skyline. We went to the movies and he fell asleep on my shoulder. And I was just sitting there like, this man really, he trusts me. Because I could have robbed him or anything and left. But he fell asleep on my shoulder and we caught the bus. My car had got repossessed the day after I met him. He didn't have a car. And so we went on our first date on the Metro bus. And that right there altogether was different because I had never rode a bus, had never rode the Metro bus. But it was just, he was genuine. He was real. And he was, this is who I am. I ride the bus. If you want to go, let's go. And so I actually, if he hadn't wanted to bed me that day, I would have done it. I was so I was so intrigued. I was so overtaken by the way he expressed his like to me that I was in awe. I was in awe. I really was. I was in awe. He sent me home by myself on the bus with a rose and he kissed me on my forehead. And all the way back to my house, I was going to my mom's house. That's where the bus would drop me off at. I held that rose and just leaned up against that window, and I was just thinking about this man. It's something about him. I really like him. So as the time went on, we were dating, and went on a date every Wednesday because that was when he got paid,
Mm-hmm.
and we went. And at
With
first,
my $8 check.
but he's so genuine. He's so he shared it with me though. He shared it with me. And now mind you, I had three kids, but he was still attracted to me. And we somewhere down up in there, my like for him turned into a real great like, a huge like, to where I wanted to be because we talked every night on the phone. He got me a phone. I didn't have a phone. He got, a land phone. Back then, it wasn't the cell phones yet. It was pagers. He, got me a pager too. And he got me a home phone. And we talked every night. We discussed our life, our past relationships. So by the time we got married, he knew everything about me, even stuff that I had never told anybody. Stuff that I never told anybody. I was so comfortable with talking with him. Um, and I knew he would keep it to himself, and I knew he wouldn't judge me. He didn't judge me on some of the things that I've done in my life. Now, mind you, here we go. He's clean. I was still drinking and smoking. But somewhere down up in there, I stopped. I had a desire to stop because he didn't like it. And I wanted to please him. Because I didn't want him to leave me and I wanted to please him. So I stopped. I stopped and hasn't picked up to this day. But our relationship is, we always talk it out. I know I did a video about we had an argument, and we did. We had an argument. But before that day was over, even before he left the house that day to go to work, like I said, we made good eye contact. When we made good eye contact, that meant our fight was over. Things are back to normal. And that's how I felt when he looked at me. When he left, he gave me a look like, I still love you. This is over and I don't want to do this. So, but he left to go to work, not left to leave. We've never had an argument to where we both went somewhere and stayed apart from each other. We've
Right.
never, in 24 years we've been together, we've never done that. We've never stayed apart from each other because we were mad at each other. We've never gone more than maybe, there was one time where we went maybe 3 days, but we still talked to each other, but we were going through something really detrimental in our marriage. But all the while, remember, I had PTSD. So some of my actions he couldn't understand. Well, I didn't understand them either. So it was all my PTSD with being insecure, judging, and things like that. So my PTSD played a big part in our relationship. But I thank God for him because he still stayed, and I believe it's only because he know the Lord. um, I truly believe that. I truly believe the reason why we're still together today is because we both know the Lord. I ended up accepting Christ as my Savior. Um, and the rest is history. Here we are today, 24 years later, we're still together. This is the longest relationship I've ever been in. And I was married before. I was married before him. But this is the longest relationship that I've ever been in. Um, and I enjoy our relationship. We talk still to this day. We still talk. We talk. We have fun with each other. We we do things recreational. We like to fish, so we both go fishing. We go fishing together. We like to do things, outside of home together. We don't go to bars and things like that, but we do go like nature. We love nature, so we like to go do things that has to do with nature. Um, our relationship is genuine. Our relationship is real. Um, I don't believe God could have done any better with me, giving me him. So are you going? What you doing? He on this
I'm
phone.
doing
Look at
no.
on this. I think he's looking up
I'm
something,
looking up the
and he's
switch.
dressed in his whites because he got to go to work. He has to go to work. But I wanted him to do this video with me. You know, we're gonna do more. I think I'll do more of these type videos so you can see. Yeah, you have problems in your relationship, but if you're talking out, work things out that day, or try to. Or if you can't do it together, go get someone who's neutral in your relationship and have them help you. But long as if they're married or so, just make sure they have a healthy marriage. Don't go get somebody who's cheating on each other and try to counsel you because that don't work. That don't work at all. But we love each other. I love him. I'm still in love with him. I still giggle when he touches me, things like that. We date. We still date each other. He'll ask, "Can I take you out tonight?" Yes, you can. We still do things like that. We make sure that we're trying to please each other
Right.
without losing ourselves. We can do that. You can please your spouse without losing yourself. I still have my own identity. He has his own identity, but we're in love with each other, and we want to watch each other grow. I love the growth that he's has, and I'm sure he loved the growth that I have. We've grown in our marriage, and things are just um we're older, we're much older. So right now we're just pretty settled. We're pretty settled. We don't have time for dumb stuff. That little silly stuff that people go through. I've never had a thought that he's been with somebody else. Never. I haven't. And he shouldn't have never had a thought that I've been with somebody else. We don't put ourselves in those positions that it can happen either.
Right.
And he was looking up something. What were you looking up there?
Well, I was looking up to make sure that I the foundation of this actually this is I believe this is the start of our marriage ministry,
Oh yes,
and
yes.
we've trained for it. We've always, so in the midst of the pandemic, we're gonna make best. We're gonna make the best of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but our scripture foundation, I want you to remember this scripture for those who are watching,
Yes.
and it's coming out of Genesis chapter 2, verse number 24, and it says, "Therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother
Thank you, Lord.
and hold fast to his wife." Hold fast, that means tight. "And they shall become one flesh." That holding fast piece is, and maybe next time we'll talk about that holding fast piece,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the piece that keeps us together. We're holding fast no matter what.
Right.
When we made our vows and we said in sickness and in health, in the good times and the bad times, you know what? We made our vows to God. And so when we hold fast, when you come out on the other side, you love your spouse even more,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even when you've gotten to a place, that's why like is real sensitive. You got to be careful because you can like her. I can like her one day and not like something that she did, or not like her the next day
Mm-hmm.
because she did something that was not pleasing to me.
Right.
And so that's why love is important, to come out of the like stage, because you can like or dislike, but when you love someone, you begin the process of becoming one, to a point where there'll be days where we have a lot of days where it's like, "What's for dinner?" "Well, I was thinking, oh, you know what? I was thinking the same thing." Or, "Where you want
Mm-hmm.
to go?" "Well, I was thinking of the same place. Let's go."
Right.
And those are the things that happens when you love your spouse, the way that God had set it up, to love them. It's a journey. You have to enjoy it. You have to invest. You can't just be married. I know some couples that are probably looking, and hopefully you're looking at this, and if you plan on getting in a relationship, make sure that you plan. Now we don't make we plan when the year comes over. We plan for what day we going on vacation. That's an investment into our relationship, and so then the rest of the year, I may pop up spontaneously and say, "Hey, let's go do a getaway." We do getaways because
Mm-hmm.
we got we really don't do well after about 4 days. So I don't know about nobody else. After about 4 days, it's
It's
time to
time to go
go.
home.
It's time to go home. We didn't schedule. One time we
Yeah.
scheduled a vacation for a whole week. We left up out of there in about 4 days. Like, we ain't gonna. We had some timeshare, so it didn't matter. And we start. We love our home, right? We love our home. We don't want to sleep in no other bed for a whole week. We just
Right.
kind of like rather be at home in our little bed and be all right in our kitchen, our own kitchen. But we learn to invest in each other.
Right.
Um,
Where we at? 24.
last time she showed you her new upgrade, and I'm so
In my ring.
godly proud that I stepped out on faith. And God knows. He knows when to do it and when not to do it. And I know I wanted to do it this year, and the first time I went out and to do it, it got done. at the right time. It was the right time.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. That's an investment into my wife, to show her how much I love her. Because love, remember this too, love is an action word. I don't tell her that I love her every day. Guess what? I show her by getting up and going to work so she can pull money out of my account when she feel like it.
And I feel like it a lot, so
And so,
I do it
and
a lot.
so, and she
So
don't
we're gonna
take
have to
all my
wrap up a
money.
little bit. I'm I save it. He has some left. Um, but while you're watching, if you haven't already, hit that subscription bell. Hit the subscribe. It's red. Hit that, and then hit the notification bell so that every time we upload a video or we post a video, you'll get notified and you'll be able to watch us. This isn't the this is probably our second video, and I'm gonna post the first one. It'll probably be up maybe right here when I post it, when I post this video. And just join us. Do a like, give us a thumbs up, and comment. Give us your comments. What do you think about what we're talking about? What about you and your
Yeah.
love? You
Give us
know,
your give
give us
ask
give
questions
us
too.
your
Yeah.
story. And you're free to ask us
Yeah.
questions. We're pretty a transparent couple, um, and we'll answer you. We'll answer you. If we don't know the answer, we definitely can find it. We
Yes.
can ask our mentors
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay? So we're gonna go now so honey can get to work. So
So remember this, and the two shall become one.
alrighty. Talk to you
Talk to
later.
you later.